I'd also like to thank my coach right there. And my team, and of course my family who's watching from home now. I love you.
She did it. Against the odds, against history, and against a challenge that had followed her throughout her professional career, Alex Eala has become the Birmingham Open champion. After dropping the opening set and staring down yet another difficult battle against a Czech opponent, the young Filipina fought back with remarkable composure to claim the biggest grass court title of her career. The final score read 5-7, 6-3, 7-5, but those numbers only tell part of the story. What happened in Birmingham was about much more than a single match. It was about resilience, growth, and the arrival of a player who now looks ready to compete with the very best on one of tennis's most demanding surfaces. As the final ball landed and the crowd rose to its feet, Alex stood on the court holding the championship trophy, her name now permanently linked to a tournament rich in history. The Birmingham Trophy has been lifted by some of the greatest players the sport has ever seen. Legends of the game have celebrated victory on these courts, and now a 21-year-old from the Philippines has earned her place among them. For Filipino tennis fans, it was a moment years in the making. For Alex herself, it was the reward for an extraordinary week of tennis that showcased every aspect of her game. The journey to this title was anything but easy. Championships are never won in a single afternoon. They are built through countless moments, through difficult matches, and through the ability to respond when pressure reaches its highest point. Throughout the entire tournament, Alex displayed exactly those qualities. Match after match, she found solutions. Point after point, she imposed her style. By the time she reached the final, she had already established herself as one of the most dangerous players in the draw. Her path to the championship was dominant from the very beginning. Opponents struggled to find answers to her aggressive shot-making, her intelligent movement, and her ability to control rallies from the baseline. The scorelines reflected that dominance. Early round victories came quickly and convincingly. She dictated play with confidence, using her left-handed serve to create difficult angles and forcing opponents out of position before finishing points with precision. Every match seemed to reinforce the same message. Alex Eala was playing the best grass court tennis of her career. Yet the final would present a challenge unlike any she had faced during the week. Standing across the net was Nikola Bardankova, a talented young player from the Czech Republic who had spent the season proving she could compete with higher-ranked opponents. Bardankova entered the final with confidence, momentum, and perhaps most importantly, a piece of history working in her favor. There was a statistic surrounding Alex that had become impossible to ignore. Since turning professional, she had never defeated a Czech opponent on the WTA Tour. Match after match, season after season, Czech players had proven to be an obstacle she simply could not overcome. The record stood at 13 matches and 13 defeats. Different tournaments, different surfaces, different opponents. Yet the result had always been the same. It had become one of those unusual sports stories that gains more attention with every passing year. The longer it continued, the heavier it seemed to become. Every time Alex faced a Czech player, questions emerged. Could this finally be the match where she broke through? Could she finally end the streak? And every time, the answer had been no. That is what made the Birmingham finals so compelling. It was not simply a battle for a championship. It was a chance to rewrite a narrative that had followed her for years. The opening set suggested that history might repeat itself. Bardankova played fearless tennis from the first game. She served with confidence, attacked whenever opportunities appeared, and refused to be intimidated by the occasion. Alex competed well, but small margins often decide championship matches, and in the crucial moments of the first set, it was the Czech player who found the edge. At 5-5, Bardankova elevated her level and eventually secured the set 7-5. For the first time all week, Alex had lost a set. The atmosphere around the court immediately changed. Spectators sensed the tension. Bardankova had seized momentum, and memories of those previous encounters against Czech opponents suddenly felt very relevant again. The questions returned. Was the streak about to continue? Was another opportunity about to slip away? Champions are often defined by how they respond when adversity arrives, and Alex delivered her answer in the second set. Instead of becoming frustrated, she became more focused. Instead of rushing points, she trusted her game. Her footwork became sharper. Her shot selection became cleaner. Most importantly, she stopped allowing Bardankova to dictate rallies. The left-handed serve that had carried her through the tournament began creating openings once again. Her backhand slice stayed low and uncomfortable. Her returns consistently placed pressure on her opponent's service games. Gradually, control shifted. The rallies became longer, but they increasingly favored Alex. Every successful hold strengthened her confidence. Every breakpoint opportunity increased the pressure on Bardankova. The momentum that had belonged to the Czech player during the first set slowly disappeared. Alex was no longer reacting to the match. She was controlling it. By the middle of the second set, the difference was clear. Alex was playing with authority, moving confidently around the court and forcing Bardankova into difficult situations. Errors began to appear from the other side of the net. The pressure was mounting. When the second set ended 6-3 in Alex's favor, the championship match had been completely transformed. What had once looked like another painful chapter in her history against Czech opponents had become an even battle heading into a decisive third set. Everything would now come down to one final push. One set for the trophy. One set to erase years of frustration. One set to complete an unforgettable week in Birmingham. And as both players prepared for the deciding set, everyone watching understood that the most dramatic chapter of the tournament was still waiting to be written. The deciding set began with exactly the kind of tension you would expect from a championship match. Every point felt heavier. Every mistake carried greater consequences. Both players understood that the trophy was now within reach, but only one of them would leave Birmingham as champion. Nicola Bardankova was not interested in becoming part of Alex Eala's fairy tale ending. If anything, she looked even more determined as the final set started. The young Czech attacked early, applying immediate pressure and forcing Alex to defend. Before long, Bardankova had secured an early break and moved ahead. Suddenly, the challenge facing Alex became even greater. The crowd could sense the importance of the moment. Momentum in tennis can be fragile, especially in a deciding set. One player gains confidence while the other begins searching for answers. Bardankova had momentum. Alex needed a response. What happened next revealed why so many people within tennis believe Alex's future is exceptionally bright. There was no panic, no visible frustration, no rushed decision-making. Instead, she relied on the qualities that had carried her through the tournament. She trusted her preparation. She trusted her game. She trusted herself. Point by point, she worked her way back into the match. The rallies became physical battles. Bardankova continued fighting aggressively, refusing to surrender her advantage. Yet Alex remained patient. She absorbed pressure when necessary and attacked when opportunities appeared. Every service game felt like a small war. Every return game became a chance to shift the momentum. As the set progressed, the tension only increased. The score remained close. Neither player could fully pull away. Spectators watched every point knowing that a single break of serve might decide the championship. Both athletes were producing some of their best tennis under the most demanding circumstances. What made the contest so fascinating was the contrast in styles. Bardankova's power and aggression constantly threatened to take control of rallies. Alex responded with intelligence, variation, and exceptional court awareness. Her left-handed serve continued creating difficult angles. Her ability to redirect pace frustrated her opponent. Most importantly, she repeatedly found solutions whenever the match threatened to move away from her. Eventually, her persistence paid off. The deficit disappeared. The championship was suddenly back on level terms. At 5 games all, the tension reached another level entirely. There were no longer any opportunities to recover from mistakes. Every point carried enormous significance. Every serve mattered. Every rally felt capable of changing the outcome of the tournament. This is where champions separate themselves. Alex stepped forward and delivered one of the most important games of her career. She held her nerve, executed under pressure, and moved ahead 6-5. For the first time in the final set, she was one game away from becoming Birmingham champion. Yet even then, the job was not finished. Championship points are never guaranteed. Tennis history is filled with stories of players who reached the finish line only to see victory slip away. Alex still needed one more service game. One final push. One final display of composure. The atmosphere around the court was electric. Every spectator understood what was at stake. Filipino fans watching around the world held their breath. Years of hard work, sacrifice, and ambition had brought Alex to this moment. The final game was everything a championship decider should be. Pressure, drama, tension. Bardunkova fought desperately to extend the match. Alex fought equally hard to finish it. Neither player wanted to blink first. Then, finally, the breakthrough arrived. Alex closed the door. The final point was won. The match was over. Alex Eala had done it. After years of chasing major breakthroughs on the professional tour, after countless hours of training and competition, after every difficult loss and every valuable lesson, she was now the Birmingham Open champion. The celebration that followed was emotional, but it was also controlled. That has always been one of Alex's defining characteristics. Even in the biggest moments, she carries herself with maturity beyond her years. During the trophy ceremony, that maturity was on full display. As she stood beside the championship trophy, attention naturally turned toward the significance of the achievement. Her name would now join a remarkable list of past champions. The Birmingham tournament has been won by some of the most respected players in tennis history. To have her name connected to those legends represented an extraordinary accomplishment. Yet Alex's reaction reflected the mindset that has helped her rise through the sport. Rather than talking about a rival, she spoke about motivation. Rather than declaring herself among the greats, she expressed gratitude and emphasized the work that still lies ahead. It was the response of an athlete who understands that success is not a destination. It is part of a larger journey. That perspective explains why so many fans admire her. Talent can win matches. Humility and hunger often sustain careers. Even after lifting one of the most important trophies of her career, Alex was already looking toward future goals. Already thinking about improvement. Already focused on becoming better. That attitude did not develop overnight. It was shaped by years of experience, including moments far more difficult than the celebration taking place in Birmingham. In fact, one of the defining moments of her entire tournament happened before the final ever began. The semi-final against Rebecca Mazurova tested her in ways that statistics alone cannot fully capture. On paper, it was a 3-set victory. In reality, it became a mental endurance test that stretched across 2 days because of repeated rain interruptions. The match started positively for Alex. She controlled the opening set and looked comfortable. But as often happens in high-level tennis, momentum shifted. Mazurova responded strongly, forcing the contest into a deciding set. Then the weather arrived. Rain delays interrupted the rhythm of the match and created a completely different challenge. Players spend their entire lives developing routines and maintaining concentration. Long interruptions can destroy that rhythm. Suddenly, competitors are forced to wait, wonder, and restart multiple times. Alex found herself in exactly that situation. At a crucial stage of the deciding set, she was sent off the court and into the locker room while holding an advantage. The challenge was no longer purely physical. It became psychological. How do you stay focused when competition suddenly stops? How do you maintain intensity while waiting? How do you avoid relaxing too much while also conserving energy? Those are difficult questions for any athlete. They become even more complicated when a place in the final is on the line. Alex handled them brilliantly. Instead of allowing frustration to take control, she remained patient. Instead of worrying about circumstances beyond her control, she focused on being ready whenever play resumed. And when the opportunity finally returned, she was prepared to finish what she had started. When play finally resumed after the delays, the challenge was far from over. Mazurova understood she still had an opportunity to turn the match around, and she came back onto the court determined to make Alex earn every point. The pressure immediately returned. Every rally carried enormous importance, and neither player was willing to surrender momentum. Mazurova managed to hold serve and keep the match alive, forcing Alex to remain locked in mentally despite the long interruptions. This was where experience and maturity became critical. Many players struggle after multiple rain delays because concentration naturally fades during extended breaks. Timing can disappear. Rhythm can vanish. Confidence can become fragile. Alex showed none of those weaknesses. Instead, she stepped back onto the court with the same focus she had displayed before the interruption. Even when facing pressure in the closing stages, she trusted her game. A difficult scoreline threatened to create tension, but she refused to allow doubt to enter her mind. She fought through a challenging service game, won the important points, and eventually closed out the match to secure her place in the final. The victory may not have generated the same headlines as the championship match itself, but it revealed something extremely important about her development as a player. Winning when everything goes according to plan is one thing. Winning when conditions become chaotic is something entirely different. The best players in the world are often defined by their ability to adapt, and throughout Birmingham, Alex repeatedly demonstrated that quality. Looking back now, the title run feels like a perfect summary of everything she has become. She dominated opponents when opportunities presented themselves. She stayed composed during difficult moments. She survived momentum swings. She handled pressure. She overcame unfavorable history. And when the biggest match of the tournament arrived, she found another level. That is why this championship feels so significant. It was not simply about lifting a trophy. It was about proving that her game translates beautifully to grass courts. For years, many observers viewed Alex primarily as a player capable of succeeding on hard courts. Birmingham challenged that assumption completely. Throughout the tournament, her strengths seemed tailor-made for the surface. Her left-handed serve consistently opened the court. Her ability to take the ball early prevented opponents from settling into rallies. Her slice stayed low and uncomfortable. Her movement improved with every match. Most importantly, she looked confident. Grass rewards players who trust their instincts, and Alex played with exactly that mindset from the opening round to championship point. By the end of the week, there was no longer any debate. Birmingham had delivered a clear message to the tennis world. Alex Eala was no longer simply a promising young talent searching for consistency. She was a champion, and she had earned that title through one of the most impressive grass court runs ever produced by a Filipino player.